So here we are the morning after, and the old cruiser put up a fight. She got a first place trophy, transfer harvest home fair, transfer PA. It's a small fair, and there were three classes they ran. Our class, the 4-cylinder stock, was the smallest. There's only 5 of us, but anyone that's ever derbied, especially on a bigger track with it's a big rectangular track, that means there's a lot more space, and there were a couple boys that were just cross tracking the whole time. So some hard hits. The cruiser did great though. Again, the stick's still up. You see the orange on the stick. Again, it is a stock tank, and as I'll show here, not even close, even as big as the track as it was, and the rear end is where I was taking all the big hits. I mean, it certainly did some damage, but nothing too bad at all. So you can see the paint job still holding on. Shout outs again to my Nora. I thought it was a neat kind of quick idea we threw together. You can see our bus rolls got a little beat up, and again, you can see how damaged it is. But I mean, we're talking a big track with not a lot of cars filling up the space, dead cars especially. So there were guys flying everywhere. Took a couple hits on the right side. I didn't want to. I mentioned in the build video, if you watched, this video was in an accident, and the inside the rear wheels is where he hit the guardrail whenever he hit some ice and lost the rear end on both sides. This side is where the fuel lines run underneath the car, and right inside there, it was in essence pressed to the tank. So I took a hit whenever I was trying to get a buddy unstuck. Turns out he wasn't stuck on the tires. He lost his CV shaft. The right part of the frame pulled apart, I guess. But I was trying to get him out, and a guy put a run on me and a big hit, and then another guy whenever I was still trying to get him out. And you can see, again, if you watch the build videos, the video was in, or the car rather, was in an accident, and the front wheels, I believe it's the left one more so, the driver's side is kind of bent in a little. They didn't drive straight. Well, you can see now this one is bent in on the strut. It stalled out in the middle of the pit whenever there's 3 of us left. And Hoffman, who had a good run, he had a bunch of big hits. He put a good wheel shot on me, but she held. It just bent. The car refired, and we got down to the end. Got down to the last guy, and I learned my lesson. Again, if you watch my earlier videos, we have a good Caravan bumper on. Not the best weld. This is the 3rd time I use this bumper, and part of the bumper here, the mounts, they were kind of damaged on the bottom of both sides, that one more than this one. So it's not the best weld, and I'm still learning to weld. But whenever that guy stalled out at the end, I said, turn the nose to him and drive into that wheel. So that was what I did twice, and then he broke his stick. I don't think he was refired. I think his battery might have went junk or something. So that is her. Again, she put up a good fight, good run. Only about a 10-minute feature. Again, not as many cars. Just again, a quick look inside. And again, the tank stock and these is all the way up here. Not an issue at all. And I'm telling you, it was big hits on the back end. At least 3 or 4. And you can see how pressed in a little, was folding a little bit there. But again, these cruisers are just hard in the back if you can keep the front wheels clean, especially if you got a Caravan bumper. Again, battery box, everything did exactly what we'd hoped. And again, the wiring, I just unplug and pull in, and you can see, I didn't mention in my video, the ground wires. I got a couple there on the side and a couple over here. Running all the stock wiring, I like to have, you can see the carnage on the school bus kids over here on this side. Took a couple shots. But I like to, if I'm running stock everything, which I am, I like to have the grounds that are throughout the car. I like to keep them as a ground, just so that, you know, you don't blow a fuse or somehow trip the system or freak it out. So that's why I do that. Had the GoPro inside up top, kind of excited. I think it worked well this time. You have been putting it on the back rather, but I think it would be a better view in there. You can still see, especially with this cruiser. So that is her. Nothing to look at under the hood. Again, you can see no damage at all. And again, if you didn't watch the build, my seatbelts, that's another dumb thing you could say. You can see how the one seat belt is just over the top of the what's left of the core support. As I took that out, that was me forgetting to take an extra seat belt to use when I went to the Derby. I had to stop there for a quick second. The kids were coming out to talk to him. But as I was saying, the seat belts, I was one short, putting around here just to kind of keep the bumper. It's nice to have the ones up front from dropping, going under your car, or, you know, maybe even hang there for a while if you keep it tight. You can see how as I was hitting that guy, it was pressing up a little bit, and it was starting to break. This one over here was even worse. But I was talking with a buddy, because my Sawzall, I'm like, it is just eating my blades up trying to cut this off so I can be flush with the Caravan bumper to my frame rail. And he was talking about a particular thing to use. I'll have to pick that up. But yeah, again, looped the lines, worked great. As she was getting hot, and again, I have the coolant sensor sitting up top. I showed that in the build video. Looped, again, fabric softener, it works great. And water, I believe I put too much fabric softener in with all the more water I had looping. And I say that because it was shooting out, again, that's why you have that piece. It was shooting out of the overflow, in essence, 2 or 3 minutes in the rest of the derby. I had like a constant steam of, it smelled nice, of April fresh scent pouring out. But I'm pretty sure that's also why I was stalling some, because I think I just had the mixture too rich, if you will, and that was kind of throwing the system off a little bit. But I just ran the car at a little bit of higher RPMs. It not only was pouring out of it more, but the car was ripping then. So kind of figured that out. And again, good run. Not a lot of cars, as I said, but a lot of fun, some big hits. And we're going to try to pull that strut out, and the Cruiser has another run in her. Not sure where or when, but we'll kind of fix up that weld a little bit with the Caravan bumper as well, and we'll see. But again, 2002 PT Cruiser. The Cruisers are tough, in my opinion, especially if you can keep the wheels clean. So it was a good run.